Hey, good morning, guys. I'm kind of playing with my camera this morning. Um, hey, okay, so let's see. I did a video last night on Instagram about a contest I'm entering, and I said if I won $75,000, what would I do with it? Because this company is giving this away if you want to start a new side hustle. Unshackled Wines, if you're interested, sign up. And they just need like a 90-second Instagram reel about what you would do with the money, some hashtags, you can look it up. So I was like, this is what I would do. I would help more women. I would help mothers to know how to love their children, how to raise a family on pretty much nothing. And I was thinking, why can't I do that now? This is really a slow process for me, YouTube and Instagram. I have a million other things going on in my life, so it's been kind of on the back burner. But as my Instagram is getting a lot more likes, just all I'm doing is posting more on Instagram. And once I started that, instead of on YouTube, it's just kind of blowing up. I'm getting a lot of people on Instagram. So that seems to be the main source of information for me right now. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't you just, work on learning how to improve that and go for it. Go for your passionate teaching for women. I have a passion for teaching. I'm a homeschool mom. I homeschooled my kids for 29 years. I'm still teaching. I'm teaching neighborhood kids, just basics in life. I love to learn and I love to teach, and a lot of my teaching is just life 101, just as you go along in life. One of the first verses I saw in the Bible was Deuteronomy, and it talks about training your children when you wake up, when you walk by the way, before you go to bed. Teach them about God. And I was just blown away by this verse, like, wow, parents have a responsibility for teaching their children. I had never heard of that in my life. Um, Part of my story is once I became saved, and I'll be sharing more of how my whole life changed from, forced abortion. I truly did not want to get fat. I don't even know. I wasn't even in the mindset of really being pregnant. I didn't understand what pregnancy was. I didn't understand. I had no idea what an abortion was until somebody mentioned the word in passing somehow. Um, no idea about anything like this. I was not trained to be a mother in life. I loved kids. It came natural for me. I just had a bunch of cousins and watched them. Loved kids naturally. Always had kids around me. I remember one episode where I had to watch usually on Friday night we had company, and the couple had a kid that me and my brother had to watch all the time. And we really didn't always want to do that just because of different things. And I remember once I had this party to go to. It was at a park. We were all going to ice skate, and we were going to have, a blast with all my friends. And this must have been like seventh, eighth grade. We were so looking forward to the bonfire and everything. And she had to tag along with me, and I wasn't thrilled about it, but yeah, so she went along with us, and we all made a train with our ice skates, and then we let go of the train, and when we let go, someone in front of me fell, I fell, and I knew she had let go. I could feel that behind me, and she was younger than me. But when I fell, my skate went up in the air and actually got her right almost in the eye. The ambulance came and everything. It was awful. The doctor later said if that would have got her like a quarter inch closer to her eye, she would have been blind for life. And boy, did I feel bad. I absolutely felt awful. And it wasn't all my fault, but I did still feel awful. I mean, it was just a pure accident, and she, you know, she was fine. You couldn't even see like where they did surgery or anything. She was fine. Um, so I mean, I've always loved kids. I took my cousins sledding and just a lot of fun with them. And having kids of my own has just been great. But on that note, when I got saved, I brought my firstborn son up to the church. I walked up to the church on the hill, small little church, and one of the first classes they offered was MOPS, Mothers of Preschoolers. And I went right into the class. I thought, why not? And there was a renowned lady there who really knew her Bible, and I was blown away by her teachings. She had cassettes back then. This, we're talking like, 29 years ago. And she would make copies of the lessons, and I would play them over and over and over and over until I got them. And one of the lessons was training your children. That was the whole lesson. It was about training your children, training them to be respectful, kind, obedient. There were a couple more lessons. One of the verses she used is, unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain. And I believe this is in Psalms. And I was just like, what do you mean? My spiritual eyes were just starting to open. And she talked about, years ago in history, there used to be guards on the walls outside the city so that if anyone tried to invade the city, they would be, they'd be shot with an arrow or whatever, they'd be taken down. So she talked about when the guard decided not to do, if the guards were not there, the city would be torn down. In the same way with our homes, she talked about the wise woman building her home and the foolish one tearing it down with her hands. And again, I was just like, what? I've never heard of this stuff. What? And I was so curious. I mean, so curious. She had 5 and she homeschooled, and I admired her, and I imitated her, because the highest form of imitation or admiration is imitation. So, I mean, I just, for about 4 or 5 years, walked with her. She discipled me. I had some of the best teachings to start off as a Christian, and I will always be thankful for that. And I was just like, what? You can train your children? What do you mean? And, like a dog or something. And, our kids are not dogs, but they can learn to listen. They can learn quite a bit when they're young. And so I just took that and, applied it and, walked with my kids and talked with my kids. And I was a very hands-on mother, and everything in their life, you're dealing with the heart, you're dealing with heart issues, you're trying to get in there, and you're trying to make sure the heart is what is dealt with. And I have a little boy right now in my neighborhood who is a challenge, and I have never not cared for a kid. I mean, we are to love kids, and I do really, have a love for this kid, but I'm very firm with him. Right away, I am just like, you're not going to be pushing anybody around over here. The other day I was driving into my neighborhood, bunch of kids, and they're usually like, hi, oh, it's Melissa. And, I've got these girls who just absolutely love being with me, and they're always, every time they see me, they light up, they come and hug me. But this one boy, he's a little more challenging, and he came up to my car and he started like pulling on my car door, like, let me in, give me food, give me this. And I just, and I was like, said his name and said, get away from my car right now. And I laid into him, and one of the girls was like, Melissa, I've never seen you so mad. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not mad. I'm really firm. And sometimes when you have kids who are a little bit older, who should know some stuff, you don't go up to someone's car and start, grabbing their car handle and trying to get in their car and stuff. You need to be firm. You need to be really firm. I have some other kids coming to the door. I love their entrepreneur spirit. They're always like, can I take your trash? How about a bag of chips for $5? And it's like, no, we're all set. But I didn't want to discourage them, and I'm like, this week I will think about what kind of work I can have for you and give you something for some kind of work, because they're trying to, you know, do better and have some money, um, which is a great thing to reward. But they can't take advantage of me. You know, they can't just think that they can just have money all the time, or I'm always going to be giving them something, because that isn't happening. So I just want to say this morning, I am moving forward with my channel. It's something that I've stuck to for a little while now, and I enjoy teaching. So I will be talking about, even without that $75,000, I will be talking about how to help mothers teach their children certain principles in life, how to love your children, and how to mother. So join me and stay tuned for that, guys.